Hello, welcome to the Equine Business Show. Jenny here, and today I am talking about 3 signs that you know that you're making your marketing far too complicated. Because sometimes I know that we all have that want to do really well when it comes to putting our marketing out there, putting our business out there. We want to do it, and sometimes in doing so, we make it really complicated. So if you've got any of these signs, listen up. So where did today's episode come from? It came from the fact that I personally found myself in a bit of a rut when it came to doing my marketing and my content creation. And I thought, hey, wait a sec, what's going on here? And one thing that I know for sure is if I'm feeling it, if I have those moments, I know that you do too. So I want to talk to you about how I worked through that and how you can too if you find yourself in a similar position. So what happened with me basically is at the beginning of lockdown, I pretty much threw my marketing calendar out of the window. And the reason that I did that is I felt that it wasn't the right time to put what I'd planned out. And I think at that time, because of everything that was going on in general and the massive uncertainty and the massive, just the change that everybody was feeling, and we just didn't know what to do with ourselves. And so it felt almost like to carry on with the marketing plan that I'd devised would feel a little bit insincere and I didn't feel it would be received very well. So I threw it totally out of the window. And instead of doing what I planned, what I did, I just did a post every single day based on how I felt, which worked really well. And then we got to so we're now July and I'm ready to start up again my marketing. And part of me is going, oh no, you can't do any of that. You can't do any of that. And so I found myself in a few spots when I thought, hey, wait a sec, I'm making this far too complicated. And the first way that we know that we're making it far too complicated is if we find ourselves procrastinating over doing our marketing in our business. Like, would you like to put it off? Do you find yourself making excuses about it? What are you actually avoiding when it comes to doing your marketing? And if you find that you are procrastinating, you need to understand why. So at this point, I said, okay, what am I trying to avoid? Why, or what fear is coming up for me about doing my marketing? And for me at the moment, like I am now in a phase where I'm doing more with my Breaking in Your Equestrian Business Bootcamp and my Nail It Mastermind. And I want to be promoting those. And I want to do it in a way that's helpful, but also a way that helps you guys to want it, you know. And I think with that comes massive pressure. And always with marketing, we've got to think about the end in mind, which means that we have to think about what it is that we want from the marketing. It's so easy to just chuck it out there, you know, post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook, post it on LinkedIn, put some blog posts out there. But actually, if there isn't a journey that ends with somebody paying you some money, you've just wasted all your time. And that is what brought up the procrastination for me, because I really wanted to make sure that my marketing helped to make that connection with people, helped to make sure that they were ready for my Breaking in Your Equestrian Business Bootcamp or for joining my mastermind. And so that meant I had to talk about things that help them to understand what it is and why they need to be in it and how it would help their businesses. And so I felt a lot of resistance over that because I wanted it to be right. So I found myself procrastinating. So if you are in that same boat and you find yourself procrastinating over getting your marketing out there, you need to work out what it is that you are purposely trying to avoid. So the second thing that tells me that I'm making my marketing too complicated when I'm doing it, so you might get this as well, is I feel really overwhelmed by it. I know that it's a massive journey, and I sometimes would like to add in every single possible moving part. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's a really good sign that actually you're making it more complicated than it needs to be. And I had this yesterday when I was talking to a client, and we went through her marketing for the next month. And she said, I just feel like I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. And a lot of the time when we feel overwhelmed, we go into that state of you're almost paralyzed. You just don't feel like you can move. And the only question that comes up and the only response that comes up is that you don't know. You just don't know what you're doing. And that is a lie most of the time. You do know. You've just got to be prepared to tap into it. So at this stage, yeah, I was feeling overwhelmed. And the reason I felt overwhelmed is because we are now in summer, and it's dawning on me that I need to take some time off for my family, for my holidays. And I've also got to take some time off because I'm due to go teaching. And that means that I can't be at my desk doing my usual stuff. And so that also brings up the fear of overwhelm. And then I'm thinking, how the heck am I going to do this? So at this stage, I asked myself, how can I make this easy? What is the minimum I need to do? What is the minimum that I will get results from? And I think a really good question at this stage is, what one thing can you do to get quickest and the biggest result from just one thing? Because we all know that 80% of our results come from 20% of our efforts. Yeah. So if you are posting everywhere, if you're doing all the things, actually, what one thing can you do? So you will notice, it depends on where you're going to get this from, but I want you to purposely keep an eye out. This is my one thing, right? This is my one thing, is creating these Equine Business TV episodes. And then in creating the Equine Business TV episode, that then becomes the Equine Business podcast. So you might be listening to this on the podcast going, what's she talking about? This isn't Equine Business TV. This is the Equine Business podcast. And that's because I have recorded this as an Equine Business TV. So I'm doing a video. I'm then going to turn it into my podcast. I then have a system on my podcast, on my website, that will automatically pull up my Facebook videos and put them into blog posts. And it will automatically pull up my podcast and put them into blog posts. So I've done one thing, and it's going to go out to all my social channels. It's going to go out to my podcast. It's going to go out to my blog, and it's going to be pinned on Pinterest to drive the traffic. One thing. So could you do the same with your marketing? If you're feeling overwhelmed, put one thing. And for me, also, that goes to, okay, what's the one thing that's most important when it comes to my marketing? And for me, the one thing that I've always said that's totally non-negotiable is my email list. So before I'm taking time off, so I'm getting all my sales and my marketing done for the month so that it keeps working when I'm not. And that is really important. We need to make ourselves redundant a little bit. If we're always feeling like we're working in our business and we don't get any time off, we're not going to feel like we want our business half the time. And I've always said that I believe business should be supporting the life that we want. So that's how I'm going to do that. So I want you to purposely look out for that this month. Go, that's what she did. That's how she did that. You know, really, yeah, you see how I am doing one thing to maximize my marketing so that I don't feel overwhelmed, so that it goes to as many places as possible. And I know that there's people who love to watch my videos, and I know there's people who love to watch who listen to the podcast. So I am still serving both of those, but doing one thing. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, can we make this simpler for you? And so, as I say, when I was working with a client yesterday, I said, okay, let's do one thing. She wants to do one blog post. So let's write that blog post purposely with the idea that it's going to have 4 questions that it answers. And then each week you pull out that one excerpt, that one chunk of the blog post, and that goes out to the email list every week. So that's your email done from that one blog post. Then you can use that one question and ask the question on your social media. Then you can put the answers on social media. Then you can direct them to the blog post. So again, it's doing one thing and making the most of it. So The third thing that you are making marketing too complicated for me is also if you're not enjoying it. I know we're not all gifted at everything, and not everything is everybody's cup of tea. Yeah. But you shouldn't be doing marketing that you don't enjoy. There is so many ways that you can market your business. So I would go and say, okay, what is the best way? What's my favorite way? Where do I show up best and the easiest, and I actually get joy from it? So that could be going and doing networking. It doesn't even have to be online. If you don't enjoy Facebook, don't do it. Like, find something else or get somebody else to do it. But when you're marketing your business, make sure it's done in a way that you love. So if you're good at doing videos, if you like doing videos, do that. If you're good at writing, do that. If you're good at talking, do a podcast. Decide which way that you're going to enjoy and just do that, because there's so many different things that you can do from it. So like, you'll often see that if you write a blog post, you could turn that into lots of little video clips. You could use something like the Headliner app. If you need the link for that, do ask. I will send you. I've got a affiliate code for that, so I will put that on the. Actually, there we go. I'm going to be putting a new tech page on my website in the resources section. So I will add the Headliner links there, so you can go to jennybush.com/. I'm going to call it tech. Better be that page now, because I've just announced it to you. And that will have all the tech stuff that I use, because a lot of the time people say to me, Jenny, how do you do that? How do you do that? So I'm going to be building that. So if you've got any questions on how I do anything that you see me doing and you want to know how I do it to make my life easier so that you can make your life easier, do ask. I'll make sure that I add it to my tech and resources section on my website for you. So yeah, make sure that you enjoy it. Yeah, do the things that you enjoy in your marketing, and the stuff that you don't enjoy, don't do. But in saying that, when it comes to not enjoy, there's going to be bits of your business that you don't enjoy, but you still have to do anyway. And sometimes that resistance we feel is the very thing that we need to push against. So do be a little bit careful on why it is that you're not enjoying it, and actually, is it just resistance and your ego and your subconscious trying to hold you back and keep you safe? But those are my top 3 signs that you're making marketing far too complicated. So if you enjoyed this, please do leave me a comment or a review and let me know what you thought. And as always, I love to hear any questions. If you've got any questions for me or anything that you'd like me to cover in one of these Equine Business Show episodes, do make sure you get me your questions and I'll make sure that I answer them. So just a quick recap. So the 3 signs that you're making marketing too complicated. Number 1, you're procrastinating. Number 2, you feel overwhelmed by it all. Number 3, you're not enjoying your marketing. Means that you're just overcomplicating it. So it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be really, really simple. For many of my clients, the marketing that I do for them, they have 15 social media posts. That's 3 a week. We do 1 or 2 blog posts and we do 1 or 2 emails, and that is all you need. You don't need to make it complicated. So if you'd like more help on this, if you'd like to know more, please do get in touch with me. Have a look at my website, jennybush.com. And where you'll also find lots of free resources for you to help you, as well as stuff on the blog and the Equine Business TV and the Equine Business Podcast. But if you'd like to work with me any more on this, I work with people one-to-one. I work with people also in my Nail It Mastermind, which is so awesome. It's a group mastermind and we meet every single week. So if you're looking for accountability and support and training, that might be just the thing for you. And also I've got Breaking in Your Equestrian Business Bootcamp, which goes through the foundations of business so that you can make sure your business doesn't feel like a wild horse. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and thanks so much for watching and listening and enjoying it. And I will speak to you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.